begin?
It all started with the smuggling in the woods. I simply did what I had to do. I had a job as a maid for Major Edouard Rudemeyer. And I had friends, my 12 friends. They were all Jews, and at that time it wasn't good to be a Jew in the 1940s. But I had to help. It was the right thing to do. It was a pale and cold day. I remember it clearly. I was sent to fetch laundry for the major. As I was taking down the clothes, I heard a Nazi say that they were going to capture the Jews in my village the next week. I had a choice to make. These people were my friends. I can't let them get captured. It would mean certain death to them. I had to choose to either help them or save myself, but I chose to help them because they were my friends. Any good Catholic would have done that. I heard the Nazi. I had to go to the bakery a few blocks away. My mother's close friends, Jacob and Rosa, owned the bakery. They were married Jews, and they were expecting their first baby. They wouldn't believe me at first when I told them what the Nazi said. But then, the Nazi came into the bakery, and when they saw them, they believed. It had become real to them. I asked if they had anywhere to go, to hide, but they were poor, and they couldn't afford it. I remember telling them that they would be fine, but we both knew that that just would not be. I thought long and hard, and an idea finally came to me. I would hide them in the major's cellar, in his big house. It sounded crazy at the time, but that was all I could think to do.
It's not crazy. It's brilliant, actually. Why? Why would you risk your life when so many others were dying from doing the exact same thing that you were?
Because they were my friends. I had to. I couldn't just let the Nazis take them away with just a week's notice. They would make me just as bad then as the Nazis. Jacob and Rosa weren't the only ones. There were 10 others. After I informed them, I went to go and tell my other Jewish friends. I decided to hide them all. And by the time I got back to the major's house, I was planning on hiding 12 right under his nose. They would arrive early on Thursday, just a day before the Nazis were supposed to arrive and take them away. This would make it look like they had run away and not hidden. The Nazis thought that their extraction date was still confidential, so no one would have had time to arrange a hiding spot only a day before.
Jews. Wow, that's amazing. Especially because you hid them right on his own property. Weren't you scared of being caught?
I knew no one would suspect me, and even if they did, I would still do what I had to do to protect my friends. It was a risk I was willing to take. In that state of mind, my own safety was not important to me.
Really what makes you a hero, putting others before yourself. Could you explain to us the conditions in which you were hiding those Jews?
Well, the major had a beautiful villa. It had cathedral ceilings and stained glass windows. He just happened to have a hidden cellar with enough space to hide 12 Jews. Though the conditions were not great, they were, however, much better than any concentration camp. I had heard of how nightmarish and how hellish they were. I knew we could all end up there, and I had to be careful. I hid my friends in the cellar for several weeks. When the Nazis left, they had taken 2,000 people from my town. I wish I could have saved more. I really wish I could have. It was hard. It was very hard. See these people taking away their families, their friends, and their homes. I was glad I could save 12. That was good. As time went by, I got more comfortable with having them there. And when the major was gone, I would let them out. They would get some fresh air. And then they would help me sometimes with my chores. Well, one Tuesday, the major came home early. And the door was locked, because I always lock the door, just in case someone would come. I hid them quickly in the utility closet. But the major was very mad. He yelled at me for a very long time. After that, I didn't take them out of the cellar for a while. I was too fearful of what would happen. I did eventually start having them help me again with chores. And then one day, I was stupid, and I completely forgot to lock the door. We were cleaning, and I realized that the major had come home, but his car came into the driveway very quiet that day. So it was too late. He opened the door, and there were the 12 Jews. His eyes grew wide, and he was very angry. He said he would turn them in, but then he said, after he thought a moment, if I would be his mistress, he would not report them, and he would let us stay there. I felt ashamed because he never acted that way towards me before. But to save my friends, I did what I had to do. I don't know why he did that. I don't know if he got a good sliver of goodness in his soul, or he wanted me that badly. But he let me keep the Jews there. But they continued to live in the cellar. The major wouldn't let them out, because he knew very well what would happen if anyone found out what he was doing. He could be tortured, he could be killed. I mean, it was a bad thing to hide the Jews.
Wow, your story is truly incredible, Irene. What did you do after the war? What did the Jews do after the war?
Well, after the war, after 2 years, they were able to come out and be free, go back to their homes, and be treated like human beings, not animals. Well, I met a lovely young man, and he told me to migrate to the United States. So I moved to New York City. There's a big city. That man eventually met me, and we eventually got married. I almost considered him a reward. If I hadn't hidden the Jews, we would have never met. He's amazing, and I'm so glad that I chose to do what I did.
I'm very happy for you, Irene. You are truly a hero and deserve to know that. What you did for your friends was amazing. While everyone in that time was inhumane, you still held on to basic human rights and values. You knew that people shouldn't be treated that way, and you did something about it. It was an honor to hear you tell your experience.
Well, thank you for having me.